So this week we have a book that we are going to co-recommend because we can't have it any other way. Mother Mary comes to me, and boy, did she come to us.
All hail Mother Mary.
So if I read the back, it says, "In these pages, my mother, my gangster, shall live. She was my shelter and my storm." And I think the beauty of this book is that we both took away very different things from it. It hit us in very different ways. But suffice to say, it's an extremely powerful memoir, right? I think Arundhati just brings out every aspect of what her life has been like. You feel like you're living it with her, which is why it's also a very, very crazy and tumultuous ride, right? To say that, she went through hardship and she, went through discovery phases, all that I think, you would know and expect of a public figure like her, and she's shared it before also. But the deep context that this book gives, of the mother who birthed her, the mother who raised her, the mother who she ran away from for many, many years, the mother she came back to, and the mother who just didn't know how to be a mother to the two children she birthed, but she was a beautiful mother to hundreds of school children. And she's built Pallikudam in Kottayam, and please do go to the website and take a look. Such a beautiful school, and you'll read about how she's built it brick by brick, literally. And, it's not a metaphor. She's literally built that school brick by brick, student by student. And I think this book raises a lot of questions, answers a lot, and I think for some, maybe some in this room, it was a very, very healing read.
It really was. I was just thinking about the life stage where you're in will determine your reading experience
Yeah.
of this book for sure, which is why if you're having a hard time having good relationships with your extended family, don't read it. Would be my, but I currently find myself in a place where I think I'm beginning to be okay with a lot of transgressions in my childhood, actual, perceived, and by extension amplified. And therefore, looking at someone who's now much older than I am, looking back at her life, at her aggressors, if I may, although she doesn't say it, she calls her a muse. And to hold that perspective is very refreshing. To say, I got here despite the life that I've had and not because of. And I think that was very, very empowering. It was so permission giving in many ways. And if copyright issues don't give us problems, I'd like to read the last page. Um, so the last chapter of the book is called "Her Birth Certificate Was an Apology from God." Right? And it essentially talks about how then Arundhati, her brother, they both went back. They rebuilt the house where Mary, mother of all things, used to live. And there's so much grief in her experience as well. She says, "I lost finally the person around whom I'd centered my life."
Yeah. Yeah.
That complicated nature of a dynamic, and to be okay with the complications of it, is just so.
Yeah. No, I think for me, a lot of it, the coach hat that I end up wearing so often, because in so many conversations, you get to see how that one person has so deeply and profoundly impacted your life story, and how much effort it needs to recognize that, to come to terms with that, in many cases forgive and heal and move forward from that. I think this was, anyway, I mean, master writing and crafting her thoughts and all of that, really gives you a window to a world which all of us have experienced, maybe not,
As intimately as.
or as intensely as she has.
Yeah.
But we're all surrounded by, and have been surrounded by, and brought up by different people, and that leaves a mark.
Mm-hmm. And it's just the last few pages, it did not occur to either my brother or me to say the usual things, mother of such and such or wife of so and so. She wouldn't have liked that. Those were not the stripes she had strived to earn. And once the house is repaired and the memorial completed, a wave of grief crashed over me again. I felt as though the only way to stave it off would be to keep working on the memorial, to keep tinkering with it forever. Kuttappan, what shall we do now? Shall we put up surround sound speakers on the pillars and play Black Sabbath? No, Kuryakos, she'll jump out. And she says, I want her to. I want her back. And then the brother says, no, enough now. Let her be. Which is
Those are
just,
the two characters in God of Small
yeah,
Things, right?
yeah.
And it makes that book come alive even more.
So much more. Yeah, yeah. It was truly one of the best things I've read ever.
No, yeah. Definitely worth reading. But don't say that you haven't been warned.
Yeah, you've been warned. Look at the cover. I mean, it's crimson red. What were you expecting?